recently did a reading in July up in New Hampshire. And after 15, 16 years, we were sitting there and the dog asked me to ask his mom, are they going to raise the house up off of the ground again? And I thought, what in the world? And I'm like, I can't say that. And I've learned enough to trust that no matter how weird it seems, how silly that it seems, say it. So I said, okay, this is probably the craziest thing I've ever said, one of the closest, but he wants to know if you're going to lift your house off the ground. And she looked at me and she's like, we did that 2 years ago and lifted the whole house up and put new water foundation, I guess they live by the ocean, and new water sealant and put the house back down. But that dog wasn't with us. The other dog was there that they live with. So the other dog must have shared with this one, and this one was curious if that was going to happen again. There's some strange things you hear. So when an animal seems fine to me and tells me I have cancer, I'll be leaving in 6 months, I will turn to the owner and say, your animal wants to know if you'd like to know everything. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. And I say, good or bad, everything. And they'll say yes. Most of the time, we're pretty keen. We know our animals pretty well. I've been a professional animal communicator since 2006. It found me. I didn't find it. Had a problem with a horse that I was owning at the time and showing, and we couldn't figure out what was happening. So we had a person in the barn say, you should have an animal communicator come talk to your horse. And I was like, yeah, you're crazy. And then I brought somebody up who was an animal communicator, and they knew things that there's no way they would have known. And it just started the ball rolling, and about 4 years later, it just all started happening for me. Nobody's more surprised I do this than me. Trust me. I do all breeds and species. I have dogs, cats, show horses, race horses. I have tigers, raccoons, snakes, weasels, birds, fish, all kinds, everything. Anything you can think of, just about. Started with the horse. It was my first case. It moved on to dog shows. I did events at dog shows. I do a psychic event a couple times here in the Louisville area. I do over the phone sessions. I also do go to people's homes or barn calls. I've got a variety of different breeds and species in a different variety. Show dogs, all kinds of things. It just depends. I mean, if the human is much more open to the reading, things go really well. But when they're really closed, and they're fine if they're skeptical, I mean, I get it. This isn't for everybody. But it's truly a better reading when they're open to hearing what their animals have to say. It becomes an energy, so when that person isn't really on board or, this is like, oh, this is bonk, it blocks the energy. So it actually blocks the flow of the information that you receive, and the animal will shut down. They want to be heard. I mean, they want to be listened to. They want to know and have respect that whatever they're telling you and sharing with you, you are valuing it, you are believing in it, it's not my job to make it fit. So when an animal tells me something, it's not my job to make it fit in my head, like, okay, that's just silly. My job is to let that owner know, and they can make it fit. Our words are very powerful, and we just don't realize that even with the animals. This is Willow, and this is Mocha. Say hi, Mocha likes the camera, don't you? And Willow. Willow is 7 and Mocha is 14. She did a movie with Jesse Eisenberg. She played his dog when they filmed here in 2017. So Willow was diagnosed with kidney failure last year. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were on the bed and I heard her clearly say to me, she said, I'm dying. And I was like, really? I'm like, okay. So, but since then, we've been up to Tiffin, Ohio. We saw a specialty vet. They both were having some kidneys issue, but now they're all healed and healthy. I really don't hear my own. Plus, I'm more vested emotionally with my animals. We understand we have rules and boundaries and guidelines, don't we? But I do request a picture as current as possible. So if you send me a picture that's 6 months old, I'll get 6-month-old information. So when I'm doing a reading and we're going to do a picture, I ask you to please make sure to send me a picture that's the day before or that morning of, so we can get something really recent. And I have clients all over the world. I have clients in Germany and France and Mexico and all over the U.S. I'm so blessed to teach the only professional animal communication course in the United States that you can actually earn a diploma in. There are a lot of us who are doing this work that are good at what we do. We do this for the highest good of all concerned. It's not about the money. It's about making a better relationship for the human and their animal companion. And that's the goal of doing this.